Hello, everyone. This is Anna Bruno from Get Skills Academy. Welcome to my channel, Get Skills with Anna Bruno. Today, we're going to talk about investments and different types of investments. So the topic of investments always comes up. A lot of people ask me questions. What should I be investing in? What kind of investments there are? So let's start with the fact that a lot of different investments have different risks associated with them. So if you look at investments and think of investments, you can think of investments as low risk, medium risk, and high risk investments, right? And so if you start with the low risk end, things like investing in CDs, in things like investing in guaranteed bonds with insurance, that the bonds that have insurance on them are on the low end of the risk. So those are either risk-free investments or low-risk investments. So what are CDs? So CDs are certificates of deposit that you can get if you go to the bank, and essentially they're deposits, right? They're savings account. You put your money in, and with a CD, you can choose a time frame. So you could have a 1-year CD or a 15-month CD, a 2-year, 3-year, and so on. So the question would be, is that a good investment, right? So is it good or bad or otherwise? And it's a very interesting question because everything that you do in life and the opinions that people have are subjective. Some people may think these are great investments, and some people may think they're not. So let's look at the pros and cons of CDs. The pros are that CDs are low risk or risk-free. So you could go to the bank, you have FDIC insurance, you cannot lose your money, you put your money in, you're going to get your money back with some interest. The downside of investing in CDs is that, number one, you're tying up your money. So think about it this way. You give your money to somebody else. They give you very little interest, right? Especially these days. And on top of that, if God forbid you need your money and you want to take it out, you actually have to pay a fee or a penalty to get to your money. So in my book, in my opinion, that's not a good thing, right? So I wouldn't want to give my money to somebody or some institution and then not be able to have access to my money, especially when there is no potential for good return, like a reasonable return. So again, CDs are one type of investment, good or bad. You make your decision, and in fact, you can put it in the comment section if you think CDs are good or bad. Since we're on the topic of CDs, I will tell you that besides regular CDs, when you get in the bank, you can also get structured notes or CDs that are market linked CDs. And essentially the way they work is they're trying to mimic the similarities of regular bank CDs, where you have guarantees again with your investments. For example, some of these market linked CDs, they have either principal guarantee or an income guarantee, depending on what you're buying. Even the structured notes, the same as structured CDs and structured notes, they have certain guarantees that at the very least you're going to get your money back, for example. And a lot of the big banks like Chase or JP Morgan Chase or Goldman Sachs or many other investment firms offer those kinds of CDs. And if you do compare, at least with those structured CDs, you have a little bit more of a potential to get more money, earn more money than with regular CDs. So that's about CDs. So that's one type of an investment. You could take your money, and rather than putting in the bank, leaving it in cash where you get no interest at all, you can at least put the money in CDs. So that's level number one, step number one. Moving on, if you want to become a little bit more sophisticated, what else could we be doing? Rather than putting your money in CDs, especially as I said, interest rates are low right now, and that means we're not getting a lot of interest on our assets in the bank. At least for your emergency money, what you want to do instead is you want to put your money in a market mutual funds, money market mutual funds. How do they work? Basically, again, at the bank, you can get a money market mutual fund with a check writing privileges where you're going to get almost a similar interest as you would have gotten on the CD, except your money is completely liquid. So if you needed it tomorrow, you can actually access your money anytime you want. So again, by comparison, CD versus a money market mutual fund, I definitely would favor the money market mutual fund versus the CD. Okay. I personally don't invest in CDs. I do have clients that invest in structured CDs. I do prefer structured CDs. There is a time and place for everything. And for those people who cannot afford any risk whatsoever, structured CDs could be an appropriate type of an investment for them. Moving on, what other investments can we have? We can also invest money in mutual funds. And again, what are mutual funds? And think of mutual funds as a pool of money. A lot of people, 10,000, even maybe more people, gather and collect their monies together. And essentially, you go and hire a professional money management team who will make investment decisions on your behalf for your money. So people like me and you and Josh Mo and everybody else can decide, okay, what kind of mutual fund do I want to buy? What kind of investment do I want? Do I want a low risk investment, aggressive investment, moderate type of an investment? There's a lot of different mutual funds that cover a lot of different sectors of the market. They also specialize in different, let's say, growth funds versus value funds, international mutual funds, bond funds, stock funds, combination funds, and so on. There's a lot of different mutual funds. But at the very least, with the mutual funds, you have a professional team of money managers that will actually go ahead. You typically have access to it, especially if there's different ways to buy mutual funds, and they're called A shares and B shares and C shares and so on. But typically you have access to your money, and it requires a low entry point. So you can buy a mutual fund for as little as $250 or as little as $500 or $1,000. So again, mutual funds are a preferred way of investing as opposed to things such as stocks, individual stocks. And again, believe me, throughout my career, I have had many clients that, prefer to buy individual stocks, others, buy mutual funds. And as a rule of thumb, what I tell my clients is that if you are going to buy individual stocks to build your own portfolio, you must have at the very least at least $100,000, because you don't want to put, I'm sure you've heard of this expression, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So if I'm going to buy individual stocks, I don't want to put all of my money in one stock, in one company. I don't care what company it is. It could be Apple or Amazon or Google or whatever. It is a huge risk, because if God forbid that one stock, one investment doesn't do well, a lot of your entire investment is dependent on that one investment.